3-0 overall, 1-0 in the American Athletic Conference. Temple also comes off an open week. The Owls will be in action also on Friday, taking on Charlotte on the road, 7 p.m. Eastern Time start on CBS Sports Network. Coach, thank you for joining us on the call today. If you would take a minute to tell us how your open week went and preparations for the third straight road game as you take on Charlotte, please.
Yeah, it was, I think, a well-deserved rest for our guys. We had 3 really tough, hard-fought games, and I think our guys just needed a chance to let their bodies recoup a little bit and, really work some of the young guys and then get ready for the stretch of 9 straight games that we have in front of us. And so I thought we did that. The guys handled it with maturity. It was a good opportunity for probably us and me to sit back and watch some great American Conference games. Obviously, really fired up for Ruffin and East Carolina with a great win, and saw a lot of other really good football games in the league. So we know we have our work cut out for us, and we're excited to get ready for Charlotte this week. Defensively, we watched the game on Saturday. They held a good FAU team to under 200 yards. It's the second time they've done that this year. They forced 5 turnovers. And we'll have our work cut out for us on offense because they're leading Conference USA in total defense, third down defense, and in sacks. They have a great nose tackle, Larry Ogunjobi, and we'll have a lot of work. And then offensively, Khalif Phillips, their running back, had 165 yards on Saturday. I think it's his 9th straight 100-yard game. So, we're preparing for a great game Friday night, a chance to go down to North Carolina, get on the road, and see how we play.
Take questions for Coach Rhule, please. Star 1 on your telephone to join the queue. The operator will introduce you.
We'll take our first question from John DeCarlo from owlscoop.com.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, John?
Nothing much. Hey, you kind of touched on this already, but how did you guys go about the bye week as a whole? How much did you work the guys? How much time did you give them off? How much time did you even give your staff to go out and recruit a little bit?
We didn't do a ton of recruiting. We had one coach that headed out on the road. What we did was we worked Monday and Tuesday. We gave them the day off. I think they might have lifted, but they took the day off on Tuesday. Then we practiced Wednesday, Thursday, to prepare for Charlotte. And then obviously, with the Pope's visit this weekend, it was campus shut down Friday. We didn't do anything Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So now we're back in here today working, and we'll practice tonight and get back into a regular routine, starting tonight. So.
I asked you about this last week, but you talked also about maybe using this bye week to start developing some guys that could fill out some depth for you, whether it's getting Jihad help at running back or some of the other positions. Did you see, even in that limited time this week, do you see a few guys that are ready to kind of turn the corner and play some more snaps for you, whether it's a true freshman, a redshirt freshman, or someone who's just really starting to come into his own?
Really nothing new last week. We have a lot of guys that are ready to play, and we've probably been a little too conservative with who we're playing and just total snaps. And we have a lot of guys that can help us that we haven't done a lot with. Really, the last week was more taking a look at the kids who are redshirting. Taking a look at kids for next year. You have to make decisions early. So you can be ready for recruiting and recruiting decisions. So, we're really this past bye week was getting ready for Charlotte and also looking 2, 3, 4 years out at where guys are going to fit in.
Gotcha. Thanks, Matt.
Sure.
And we'll go next to Dan Tortora with Dan Tortora Broadcast Media.
Hi, Coach. How you doing today?
Hey, Dan. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. I wanted to ask about one of your defensive linemen, just his evolution and how he's come up, and Hershey Walton, and just what you can say about him at this point.
Well, I think, Hershey's a guy that's played a lot of football for us, great student, finishing with his master's degree. Probably nobody plays as hard as Hershey does. He's a guy that runs the football, and it's good to finally have him healthy. I thought he played an exceptional game against UMass, was all over the field, and made the plays that we're used to him making.
When you look at that defensive line comprised of Hershey and, everyone as a whole in the group that you utilize, just what you can say about what they've done at this point as that first line of defense and you winning some of those big games here to start off the 2015 season, just what you can say, give credit to the line for it at that point.
I think they've done a good job in helping us stop the run, and that's our first goal. and they've been able to get to the quarterback. Obviously, the first game was a great start, getting 10 sacks, but we've been able to get to the quarterback, not a ton against Cincinnati, but against UMass, we were able to get to him, hit him, affect some throws. I think anybody saw the UMass game against Notre Dame sees just how good Frone Affle is. So I think they've been able to stop the run and put some pressure on the quarterback, and we've played a lot of guys, so there's a lot of guys there with a lot of talent.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Matt.
Sure.
And we'll go next to Mark Narducci from Philadelphia Inquirer.
Hey, Matt, with the break you got, how beneficial was it mentally? Because you guys have been involved in 3 really tough games. How beneficial was that for the guys kind of to get away for a little bit?
We'll see. They're getting back today. I just think, for all of us, it's been a hard camp. We practice pretty physically, and just getting a chance to get some of the, bumps and bruises healed up, and just kind of recharge and refresh. Because, as I said, 9 straight weeks. That's 9 really tough, weeks in a row. And I think anybody that looks back at what we've done so far, Penn State, they're 3-1. Anybody that watched that great game between Cincinnati and Memphis realizes how good Cincinnati is and how explosive they can be. And anybody who watched the first half of the Notre Dame UMass game realizes how special they can be. So, our guys have played well enough, and but I think we needed a break to get ourselves ready to go play great football down the stretch.
Oh, the other thing is, how are you injury-wise? Did the week really help you as far as healing up bumps and bruises?
Yeah, I think so. We have some kids that are we're going to have to see how they practice over the next 2 days, but just a lot of guys with a lot of little nagging things that hopefully they'll be able to kind of regroup and go from here on out. So, but I think we're a much healthier team than we were coming out of the UMass game.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And we'll go next to Sean Pastor with Owls Daily.
Hey, Matt, how are you?
Hey, Sean, how you doing, bro?
All right. I was curious. It's been almost a month now a few weeks into the season, where, Frank Newtile and John Lockery have traveled, Cincinnati and UMass, where they are in terms of, what you wanted to see this far into the season.
Obviously neither one's gotten in the game yet, but I think they've been mentally alert. They've been ready to go. I think they've looked good in practice. And hopefully at some point we'll get a lead and have a game cemented away where those guys can get in there and be ready to play. But I think both guys have good work ethic. They're extremely smart, and they're just kind of waiting for an opportunity.
Is it fair to say they're a little bit different than what just by how they look? Their look is different than what PJ brings were they to get into the game.
Yeah, I don't think Frank's necessarily a runner, but. I think they both can throw it, and PJ hasn't really run a ton this year, so I think, whatever he threw for last game, 390 yards, I think most of that was in the pocket, not a lot of broken plays or, trick plays. I mean, just kind of, sitting there throwing it. I think that those guys have that ability, and, Frank's coming off the ACL last year, so he hasn't shown any effects of that. He seems like, when his time comes, he'll be ready to sit in there and sling it.
Okay. Last thing I wanted to ask was, it's been, I guess, about 10 years now, but you were at Western Carolina. Do you have a lot of familiarity with, the Charlotte area, North Carolina football and so forth? It's not necessarily a homecoming, but I would imagine you got some, familiarity going back to that area.
Yeah, I actually recruited Charlotte when I was at Western. That was sort of my main recruiting area, and really good football there, really good football down into, Rock Hill, South Carolina. Greenville, Spartanburg, and at the time, Charlotte didn't have football. I think Coach Lambert's done a fantastic job. To think that 3 years ago they were just starting football. This is their 3rd season, and to see them 2-2 right now and leading the conference in so many defensive categories. And then you look at their roster. So many of the kids are from North Carolina. So Charlotte was a great place for me. Some of the kids I've coached are actually coaching high school football in that area. I know a bunch of them have reached out to me, and hopefully they'll be able to get to the game. But we have one kid on the team, Jagger, from North Carolina. I know he's excited to go back. So, but I think Charlotte's doing a really nice job, and they found an area of the country where there's really good talent, and I think that they're going to be good for a while.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
And do you have any other questions for Coach Rhule, please? Star 1 on your telephone if so. Coach, we thank you for your time this afternoon. We look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
Okay, thank you.